享啊。我哋用廣東話有冇大問題啊？Can I speak in Cantonese or you want us to speak in English? 普通话觉得比较麻烦啊，香港人的普通话一般比较烂，不可以，不要太有信心。Can I speak in English? Is it okay? 对不起啊，人家香港哦，一般的来说是广东话比较好一点。Maybe I speak in English. Is it okay? I think English is better because they can't understand even a little bit Cantonese. Okay. So let me start. Hello everybody. This is very good sharing because how I designed this topic. I want to have this free promotion. You know, running social enterprise is so tough that we don't have too much budget. So how can we leverage our resources and make something free and help you to promote and then get you success, okay? This is also the story of myself, is talking about Diamond Cap. So I'm very happy to have you here and also our speaker, Christina. She's from Apple Daily, Tomo News, right? It's a very popular online news platform. He is running the PR agency called Social Alliance Consultancy, and they are running a PR service for the social enterprise, especially for the social enterprise, to help them to promote more. Okay, first of all, how to pitch media for free promotion. How many people here come here to listen to our sharing because we talk about free promotion? Is it really attractive? Okay. So, I want to tell you the truth. There's no free lunch, okay? If you expect us, I'm just sharing the full page, right? It's not an advertisement. It's real report from the reporter. But it's free for us because the reporter come to us and then interview us. But how can we attract the reporters come to us and share our stories for free to the public? And then people will come to us and buy our service, buy our products. It's because we have to be competitive. Okay? There's no free lunch in this room, in this world. Okay? You have to learn how to pitch them, how to attract them, how to make them, okay, I must go to interview you. And then my paper, my TV programs, my radio programs will have somebody to listen, to read. Okay? They need your story because they also want to have more audience or readers to read their newspaper and listen to their programs or watch their TV programs. Okay? So you must make yourself have your value in the society so that they can come to you. So I want to share a bit how we can do it, and then we have the practitioner in newspaper, it's an online platform actually, and also the PR friends. First of all, why the media has to come to you and then report the stories? You have to find your own news angles. I was a journalist. I have to make this golden opportunity to make clear that people come to report me not because I'm their ex-colleagues or I'm their friends, okay? Just because we have some news angle they want to catch and they want to talk our stories. So news angle is very important. And what is news? And then later we can discuss. But in Hong Kong, if you read more newspaper, if you read more news, you will train up yourself what is news. What is people, they can talk some news, okay? So you have to train up by yourself to live in this society, to feel and to taste what is news, what is not news, what is old things, what's not new things. How often the media will come to you to report? Media is very busy. They have a lot of agenda every day, a lot of press invitation every day. Why they will come to you, keep coming to you? Because we have news for them, because we have something attractive for them. So you have to be more proactive. Don't wait them to contact you. You have to release something new in the society and attract them to come. Okay, first I will share you how they will choose, how they will select stories that they want to report. And then, okay, after people come to you, or even they come to you once a month, or even 2 months, every 2 months. So why they come to you and how you can explain your story? Please get ready for the materials and speech, okay? Train up yourself. If you are social entrepreneurs or even just CEO or whatever, the management of the organization, please train up yourself to be more presentable. Okay, train up your language, train up your posture, how you can communicate with the media. Otherwise, the media will write something true that is, oh, this CEO is a bit, silly thing. They will write something true. So you have to be prepared that you are really understand what you are doing for yourself, for the society. Otherwise, you waste the golden opportunity. The media come to you. Okay? The case of diamond cab. How many people see diamond cab before in Hong Kong? A big taxi. Okay. How many people see them there just serving the wheelchair user boarding? No, just see, oh, it's a cab. That's true. That's true. Why do people see that diamond cab and understand and know this diamond cab? But not because of the wheelchair boarding when you see it, because of the communication in our society already know our brand. Okay, our brand starts from my story, as a real story, a personal story. She's my mom, she's in heaven now, she's maybe sitting around me. This is the real story I want to tell the society, that I love my mom, and when she gets disabled, I want to serve her better, not with my private car, but a better taxi, a better proper transport that I can also share with other moms, other grandmoms, grandfather, grandparents. Okay? This is my true story that I really want to promote through my enterprise, through my social enterprise. Okay? From the very beginning, day one, when I decided to do it, I know this is a news, because I don't think out of millions of Hong Kong people that I can find $1 can make a taxi for mom. These very crazy people like me. It will be the news. Okay? So you have to judge whether you do something really exceptional, really extraordinary. That will be a news. That's a news element. So until now, you see, Next Magazine report is just October last month. But my business already launched for 2 more years. So it's news. It's still a news. They like to interview me. They like to talk story about me. But it's very funny, because I was a journalist, I know how to write a story better, and then I discussed with the reporter, hey, maybe you write my character more, to tell more people how I run this business with my tough and really a bit sometimes rude to the rude passengers. It's something new, and she writes for 4 pages. It's very, very, very funny. You can check it out later in the website. I'm sure it's still here. Okay, how long can you tell a story? As I said, you have to be more proactive, you have to be more active to tell the latest development of your story. So until now, it's just this month, next month is already released, is already published, is the Women magazine, Jessica and Elle. At the same time, I have 2 profile stories. Even Jessica is talking about 3 pages. It's really, really serious reporting. I have to dress up, I have to some pose, like model, because they really, really care how I can tell my story better with a better image and better publishing. Okay, so I can tell you this is until now I still have this kind of profile stories. Not because of my story is too familiar, it's not news anymore, but we have something happened. That is the award. I'm very honored to be selected as one of the Career Women Initiative Award finalists in this year. I just came back from France last month. I was selected as the very first Hong Kong social entrepreneurs, or even entrepreneurs. They select people with a good business for profit-making business with social mission. So it's social enterprise, private social enterprise. And to demonstrate your good social impact and also your business performance, I was selected as one of the finalists. The other 2 is from Korea and also from India. Finally, we lost. We are not the champion, but still we are one of the 18 in the world. Okay, this year. This is news. This is a very big step for Diamond Cab. This is the 2nd international award, and also a personal award for myself to talk about the story of Diamond Cab. And Hong Kong ET report me with my coach. He's called Victor. He's the coach assigned by Cartier. It's my request that I want an investment guy to help me to get more funding, investment to further expand Diamond Cab. So I need an investment background expert to help me. And he is stationed in Hong Kong, So he's stationed in Singapore, and after this coaching, he said, Doris, I want to come to Hong Kong. It's so nice because he's so, very dedicated to help me and also see our social enterprise is really doing well, and also an investment environment is quite good here. So these are news, okay? We always catch the media attention with the awards. Okay, let me rewind the time. You saw about when I start Diamond Cap, it's not that famous before, okay? Even you see the taxi, it's just, at that time it's only 5. Even now it's 6. You cannot see Diamond Cap all the times. How can you tell people that you have this service, you have this exposure already in Hong Kong, but you have to make attention on that, or pay attention on that? So you have to make something new, okay? Something interesting to attract people to come. I got the chance to work together with Fairwood. Why? Because Fairwood, they got barrier-free facilities in their fast food shop. They got the award. I just saw in the newspaper, they are awarded with the barrier-free service. Then I talked to Fairwood, hey, can I work together with you? We are barrier-free taxi, you are barrier-free shop, we can work something out. And then after discussing, the CEO decided to issue new coupons to the Diamond Cap passengers. It's valued 700,000 Hong Kong dollars, okay? Delivered to our passengers. It's very good gift. Okay, we got this very nice gift from Fairwood. How can I deliver the message to the media and tell more people that they are doing good, we are doing good, we are working together? So I need to organize press conference, press event, invite them to come to report us, to tell the good story. And then I know that the CEO of Fairwood is one of the important listed company in Hong Kong. All the CEO of listed company in Hong Kong, they will be very attractive to the finance reporter. So this is the first time Diamond Cap as a social project, as a social venture. Usually we share our story in the local news, but the very first time our news go to the finance page. Those people working in finance or in the economy, they are more business-like, they will read the finance page, right? The first time Diamond Cap go there. And also at the same time, actually most of the reporters come to interview the CEO, Raymond Chan of Fairwood. But they still report me, they still talk about me because I have something interesting for them to take the photo. I dress up like the Fairwood waitress, that's me, okay, that's me. I dress up like the waitress of Fairwood because it's showing their caring to the customer too, and also my customer in wheelchair. So I dress up like the waitress and then serve my mom, okay. It's a very nice story, it's a real story. If I have the chance, it's at home sometimes actually, but I make it as a press event photo. At home I will serve her like this, but it's an event photo. It's a branding thing, okay? So it creates a news that I can show in the newspaper. This is the main goal. Actually, that day, nearly 10 media comes and 8 or 9 reports in the newspaper after the event. So it's free, okay? I just need to organize, and then somebody will report for you. Okay, the other technique that is the celebrity, okay? Why they come to you? Not because of Diamond Cap. We talked about this already, okay? This is already November of 2011, and we launched this service as a news idea, news topic already in February, okay? It's after nearly 7-8 months. So why you still come to my event? Because of the celebrity, okay? Because we got Ronald Kali, Bernard Chan, Dr. Leung, they just come up. Actually, I invite Ronald first, Ronald Kali, because this is an event sponsored by Toyota, Prime Motors, and they got Ronald is happy enough, but I'm so lucky, Bernard and also Dr. Leung, so they are also free to come. So these 3 kings together with the boss of Prime Motors, such a great, we call it diamond list of celebrity, right? 鑽石級嘅人物喺晒度。咁咧 why they come? Because I want them to sign their big names on my miniature Diamond Cap and then do the auction. And then I can sell in a higher price and then get the profit to support Diamond Cap. This is my technique. So this is a very funny thing that I want them to come and join. At the end, they have to do the auction. You see Dr. Leung is one of the auctioneers with the hammer. They shift, okay? Dr. Leung, and he's a host to do the auction, and the others just bid, okay? And at the end, the news is very funny. 陳智思鏡頭轉的是白果. He cannot make the auction because all the miniature card with the lucky number with the signature goes to the others, not Bernard. So this is not news, but it's funny, it's interesting thing. And you can understand in Hong Kong newspaper we have dessert news. Okay, sometimes we call 甜品新聞. Still like quite a good exposure. People like to read it. People like to read some news with some gossip things, right? And this is a kind of gossip thing. Put it in the news. Still in the newspaper, still in the local news, and still interesting. And you see the photo, the boss of the promoters just watching the miniature with Rondo. It's just the kids, right? Two kids playing the toy car. Is the photo. It's so funny. I got the money, I got the exposure, I got a good network, and they are happy. All my respective guests are very happy about this event. Okay, how about if I cannot invite some celebrity to come? How can I still attract the reporter to come to report my event and report my news? I will find someone, even though they are not celebrity, but they have some historical meaning. They are important people. They are small people, but they still have some important message for the community. Like I organized diamond sedan competition, and I have this diamond sedan created for the wheelchair users to sit on it, and then we race. I kick off this competition idea and kick off this diamond sedan idea because I have a historical lady. She's called Auntie Bao. Actually, she is the only one sedan carrier in Hong Kong. She made her living in 60 something. Carry the real sedan with the chair in the bamboo, carrying people from like Tung Chung to Ong Beng to the Buddha. Now we take the bus, is number 23, right? And $11 for one trip. At that time, when Annie Bao is still young, she carried people for Hong Kong dollars, $15 for one trip. Walking 3 hours from downhill to uphill. It's history. It's a transportation history in Hong Kong. She is the carrier. She is the first diamond cab driver. Carry people, even if you are disabled or able, you carry them both. So this is very interesting thing. That's why even SCMP will come, because they always like the cultural stories, interesting story. So you have to take out these people, okay? You have to find. I'm lucky because I got a network before. I know many community story and I know many people in the community. So when I have idea, I want to make a sedan, and then somebody, hey, there's still one lady. She's still here. She's still alive in Tai O, living in Tai O. And I go there and then interview her and then make some background story and make this sedan with the new technology. So this is how we make the news, how we attract the media to come and also deliver our message nicely. Very soft selling. It's not hard selling about Diamond Cat. It's soft selling our mission to make a barrier-free infrastructure to help the Hong Kong people in wheelchair. So at the end is please keep your story hot. Okay, something cold is not interest. Hot. Okay, people will come to you, and when people come to you, you feel hot and make them hot, and then your mechanism, that things will keep going. Just like my cat, okay, keep going. It's still, very energetic if you can demonstrate that you're energetic. And at that time, the reporter will be infected by you. Okay, oh, this guy is so passionate about the social issue, about the enterprise, and will write better for you. Okay, so no free lunch. Keep yourself be more competitive. This is my sharing. Okay, I give the time to Lawrence to share his experience, how the PR strategy can help you. We will have Q&A and panel discussion later, so keep your question. I will answer you. Try my best. Okay?
Thank you, Doris. Nice to meet you all today. I'm Lawrence. Before I start up Social Alliance, actually I work for another PR agency to solve the supermarket, the hotel, or even some design lifestyle brand. So when like 2.5 years ago, I established Social Alliance, we aim helping social enterprise to amplify their social impact and make the social enterprise become a mainstream discussion topic or as a mainstream consumption items. For today, because we got two experienced reporter here, so I better more focus about how PR as a gatekeeper, when before outreaching the media, what is the perspective of a PR to control the message? In Hong Kong, Hong Kong is an example. From the data from HKC SS Social Enterprise Center, we got around 400 social enterprise, and around 60% of them are actually retail-driven enterprise. Like they provide services on lifestyle products, catering service, or some fashion items. But I'm taking like catering as a reference. In Hong Kong, there's over 11,000 restaurants in Hong Kong. But compared to SE restaurant, we got around 100 to 150 SE restaurants. Our competition is not limited to the SE circle, but also you need to compete with the mainstream enterprise. Particularly for retail stuff, the consumer, perhaps for ethical consumers, they will buy your product because of your goodwill or with the good social story. But we're talking about repeat purchase. We need to communicate the benefit or the product features and the unique product features of your social enterprise product. So we think that is a key. Perhaps it's good enough to communicate your social good story in the beginnings. But after you launch your social enterprise, you need to sustain the discussion how we can differentiate your product with the mainstream product. We need to pay attention about it. When I first helped the social enterprise, many people come to us and ask, I want to get some free publicity for my social enterprise. But usually they already planned their events, like 2 weeks before an event they come to us. Can you help? I want some promotion. But at this point now, instead of helping them, I ask them a question. Why do you lead the media coverage? Because like, I would suggest them really think about to set a goal or objective. Why you need to line up the media? What kind of coverage do you need? And talking about goals, we can talk about reputation goals, just like especially for some startup media, social enterprise, or is their business related to business. They want to get some media coverage so that someone will endorse their product, for example, celebrity endorsement or some government official endorsement. After they publish their story, they will use this story as a sales kit. One of the key pieces in the sales kit to do some marketing and sales. So if you aim at such goal, probably you need some in-depth story about the social values of your business and also how it works. For relationship goals, it's more about corporate sponsorship stuff. For example, many social enterprise, not many, part of the some social enterprise, they will line up a corporate sponsor to sponsor the events. But usually, if they will want to please the sponsor or want to justify that the sponsorship amount is sufficient to promote their brand. So if you are aiming at relationship building, perhaps your story should be more focused about how you can endorse your sponsorship. Or if you are B2B, serving B2B clients, how could you develop some case study about the successful cases? For example, some cleaning services, perhaps cleaning services in terms of media interest is quite low, isn't it? But you can endorse your employers, business employer, and entitle them or enter some awards entry, so that you can build up the relationship with them through a media coverage. For task management, it's relatively simple because usually it's related to sales. You call for action. You call for them to buy a product or support your event, attend the event. So So after you set the goals, we can set the objective, like what do you want the people feel about a social enterprise in terms of attitude. Like for Diamond Cap, it's more about love, free transportations. You give the best thing for the disabled people, for the wheelchair person, because it means a lot for them if they can go to somewhere to travel in the, in a really good free way. He can enjoy a life. So that's more about attitude. For behavior and connotation, it's more about awareness. Did they really hear your brand? For example, particularly when you launch a new social enterprise, people may not have sufficient time to know the full picture about business, but at least they can recognize your name or your business nature. So that's a really good start. So after you decide the goal, objective, you need to think about what is the public. It's about actually in terms of media outreach, who is your target media. For example, if your business like catering or retail business, your public should be the general consumer, isn't it? So perhaps like HKEJ or the business journal is not your preference. You are more likely targeting Apple dailies or some lifestyle media because they are more consumption driven or lifestyle driven media. But if your business is more about B2B, providing services for business. So perhaps you can pick some niche media like the Island or the Capital magazine to be more focused. And lastly, before you reach the media, although they got their agenda, but you also get your agenda. You want to think about what message you want to say and how you evaluate. Is this a good media coverage or bad media coverage? Is it a good opportunity or just mention you want to skip it? So as a PR personality of your social business, you got such responsibilities. Also, because as I mentioned, some social business actually they ignore the different life cycle of their social business. But actually, when you plan a program before you outreach the media, what you plan the PR program actually will affect whether it got news values or not. For example, when we're doing some research, when taking for example, Down in the Dark is an example. When they start up a new social enterprise, usually you will talk more about the business model innovations. For example, is it a self-finance model? Is it a new SE model to big change the service gap? Diamond Cap big change the service gap of wheelchair users. Down in the Dark is more about it's the first Hong Kong privately investment social enterprise. For such a program, it usually attract the general news media to cover our media. But after you launch for 1 year, 2 years, you want to sustain the media coverage. You need to change. You need to be more innovative. And such stage, usually your program or services will focus to explore new market segment or develop the loyalty program. For Doris Diamond Cap cases, I noticed that he not only focus on the wheelchair transportation right now. She is also exploring the travel sectors, like how to engage the travel sector people to provide travel experience for wheelchair users. So such an innovations on targeting new segment or new service. For Dark in the Dark extend to Dark in Silence or even they got some theater stuff. And for organizational stage, when we look here in Hong Kong, for example, the 新生會, the cafe VPCO series. 新生會, they serving the mentally disabled service target. And after they won the social enterprise for over 20 years, like 2 years ago, they won a rebranding campaign which called today Samsung 3D0. In Chinese pronunciation, it means physical, emotional, and spiritual healthy. And it actually reflects that they actually rebrand the social business into like not only survey the mentally disabled people, but enhancing the well-being of Hong Kong people. So you can see that because their organization, the business, the social business, their goal changes. The PR planning, the program will be changed, and it will affect your media outreach strategy. For process innovation, like the fullest Christian or vocational trainings, the salon that they won in previous years, you can see that the business they change, but they implement some management tools in the social enterprise, which make a lost social enterprise to make profits. And such innovation also can attract some media attentions. Sorry, so just a really useful tools for practitioners. You can self-assess these tools and find out which strategy you can use. For this Harris grid actually is formed by international PR practitioners. You can just think about, did your service or product got high or low consumer interest, or did it got high media or low media interest? For the product like who got high consumer interest and high media interest is really great because you can easily attract media to come. You just focus the product is okay. I think also take Diamond Care example, when we first launched, because it is the first forever transportation fee cap for wheelchair people, and because it beat the gap, it attract media. So when it launched, it can easily attract many media to come to cover such story. But for the Square B category, usually the consumer is interested to event, but perhaps, for example, social enterprise, the media did report your event already. So how can you attract them to come next year or to come in next event? So I think this will provide some sponsorship opportunity for SE and line up with corporate. Taking concert in the direct example, for CSL perspective, that's like providing mobile services. But they didn't got a new technology or new package in the whole year campaign. By sponsoring and social enterprise concert in the dark and their program, CSL can enjoy extra media coverage and attention. And as such, I think when we look into the corporate perspective, as an SE, we can easily find the chance to get their money. And for content C, I think fair trade product is an example. I'm not saying that fair trade product is not attractive, but compared to the mainstream retail product, the consumer is relatively small. But media maybe got high interest because it's more about justice and fair. But for my cases, perhaps we need to find out some new fair trade product cases or any new fair trade product in order to attract the consumer interest. Like because usually we just can recall fair trade chocolate, but how about fair trade tea and Chinese tea? So we can play around it. But if unfortunately, you fall into the B column, low media interest, low consumer interest, you really need to got some exciting or special event. And as Doris mentioned, perhaps award events can help you well, particularly the business-to-business type social enterprise. By joining the awards, you can explore some personal event of your employees or the volunteers, so that it can attract more media to report your story. I just try to wrap up my presentation as some case study which easily attract media attention, particularly for lifestyle cases. For Ocean Park, many people go to Ocean Park, isn't it? But how do they use the PR strategy to attract media to come? Usually some of the gimmick is more easy to use, like the biggest, the theme. For example, the first type of fish come to Hong Kong, or the biggest zoo in Hong Kong. It can easily attract people. And the last moment is called the last chance to visit some kind of destination. Also attract media. Celebrities, about the behind the scene, or we talk about visitors. How many visitors come to a destination can also attract journalist items. I just copy such easy strategy to dialogue in the dark, and we make a huge success in last year. We help them to build some festive campaign, why on the Christmas, the Valentine's Day, the summer stuff. For Hong Kong, in the Christmas, we just use a few $1,000s to make a Christmas tree using, how to say it, the arcane in order to provide a photo opportunity for reporter, because dialogue in the dark is all dark, but reporter, particularly for print media, they need some photo opportunity. So we just make a tree, and also we make some media tour, invite the media to experience the Dialogue in the Dark exhibition center. But of course, we changed some script in order to let the visitor to enjoy the experience in a Christmas atmosphere. And by such easy events, we attract over 50 media to come, and in terms of utilization rate, we increase 30%. That's the same strategy when we apply to the Valentine's stuff. Actually, the dark experience, the weather is the same. We changing different things. For example, like two people share one stay to experience the Dialogue in the Dark Experience Center, and we also partner with some designer to do some light artistic work, so that you can give them another media angle. Yeah, and we also mentioned perhaps Ocean Park, they got 10 million visitors, but Dialogue in the Dark got 200,000 visitors. It's also an achievement and milestone for Dialogue in the Dark. By such cases, we also attract business and journalist media to cover our work. So actually, particularly for retail type social business, sometimes you didn't really need to be extremely innovative. You just need to amend and fine tune your marketing ideas in line with some effective timeline, and we look into the media leads, and then you can easily generate media coverage. Yeah. And taking fair trade is another example. Fair trade we talk for ages, but we try to help them to identify different story angles, like new products in terms of F&B driven story, the recipe stuff, or even about the business stuff, any new collaborations, or even a lifestyle driven. We find out some celebrities to use the product, and for one day, we can easily attract attentions. And lastly, just using Women's Day as a case to wrap up. Christina also will talk more about the detail. I just want to mention for Women's Day, I just help them to do the media outreach, the pitching stuff. But they are really, really good in PR planning, because for their one anniversary campaign, they read the media line. What the needs of journalists, what the needs of business, education, entertainment. For journalists, they attract like the CS to come to the event. For the business pages, they partner with the hotel and the finance company working on some sponsorship program. For education, they endorse the program about the school Green Monday menu. And for entertainment, they invite celebrities as an ambassador. So by different campaign, it can generate different kind of coverages. And for Green Monday campaign, they generate over 100 coverage in a single event. So probably you also need to reveal the breadth and the length of the medias so that you can fit the news. And just last but not least, I think although you are not a PR practitioner for some SE executive, but you can be the PR person to reveal every opportunity, and you just need to work hard to develop the media database yourself by cold calling or read more media magazine, jot down their number. And you also need to aware their preferences, because for broadcast or online media, they need some gimmicks, or they need some impactful pictures or Photoshop. You need to learn their preference in order to support them and secure a successful media story. And then the trust is a mutual trust building process. You need to build a long-term relationship with them. If they decline your request this time, don't worry and don't force them to report your report. Just keep communicating, keep find out the story angles, and then you will be success in long run. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Yes, you cannot force the media to come to report you, okay? No, that is not East Hong Kong. I still have the freedom of reporting and also for the press. So let's introduce Christina, the Apple Daily. Very controversial media in Hong Kong. Can I ask any TVB reporter here? We welcome you. We are open for all to share our experience and knowledge. And Christina is particularly very dedicated because I know her for a few months actually. I know she knows her role. Apple Daily is very popular in Hong Kong, and they got power, they got influence power, how to make our society better, okay? Not something just juicy, but really help help our social enterprise to grow up. And Christina is very nice. She talked to us. She understands what I need. And she tried her best to use the platform, which is very popular. It's even better than TV. Now, in an online platform, and she make very specific thing for the campaign, actually. As I said, Hong Kong, if you're doing media, I'm also a journalist. Actually, we are very free to pick up our topics that reporters like. Usually we will persuade and lobby the editor, hey, this is a good topic, let me do it. And usually in Hong Kong, I think most, at least my companies, iCable News it's very free for us to create and to try to reach out to the community to report what we want to say. I'm sure Apple Daily is in the same atmosphere. They are very free to report. That's why when Christina come to us and talk to us what we can help for the social enterprise, she have talked a lot how her platform can help. And she has her dedicated colleagues follow up our stories. Yes, Christina.
I'm quite sad to see all the examples of printed version. I think all of you need to know right wave of online media, digital media. This is the future. If you're still looking at the prints, the exposure is not so good. And for online, we have all the KPI, KPI, key performance index. You really know the performance, the reach to your audience. So let me begin with the past. When you try commute, then most are reading newspaper. But now, everyone with a mobile phone. So when you design your campaign, you need to target those using mobile phone to read your message. I share with you some data from Associated Press from the conference I just attended in KL. So you can see online got even more audience than TV. I think for Hong Kong, we are even more ahead of internationally. Last year, I think last year or 2 years ago, the online audience already surpassed TV. And this is our traffic figures. You can see in year 2012, the mobile traffic surpassed even the website. So right now it's all about mobile traffic. We take up, I think right now is nearly for text articles because you don't need to spend too many data. Over 80% of our traffic comes from mobile, including iPad. For video, around 60 to 70% people using mobile phone or iPad to read rather than a website. So if you design your message for TV program, people will sit down for half an hour, 1 hour to consume the content. But for mobile phone, it's when you commute. So 1 to 2 minutes at most. And you must make your message really very funny and exciting. Because when you put your content online, you are no longer competing with your printed rivals like newspaper or other news channels. You are actually competing with YouTube, Facebook, Yahoo. If people don't read your news, they will go to YouTube to read other interesting videos. That's why we must make our videos really funny. And 60% of all online traffic is video. So when you design your event marketing, you make sure you have enough footage for the reporters to report. Sexy headline is not enough. A printed written story is not enough. You must have images, footages. So when I was a reporter, I attend a press conference. In my heart, I always say, wow, it's so boring.
It's not my business.
Yeah, none of my business. It's so boring. So you need to find new perspectives. Before, we usually present stories of the victims. But right now, positive story sells more than negative story.
Thank you.
Because life is really tough. We have enough tragedy and tragic stories. We want to hear good stories. And the other thing, when you have some victim story, you read the comments, people are not so sympathetic. For instance, in Hong Kong, we find a lot of ways how to write a story so that we can earn more empathy for the Chinese immigrants. But whenever we have a Chinese immigrant story, you can see the comments are so negative. They just want them to go back. Or if you're talking about poverty, people will say, well, I get through all the struggles and I have good life now. Why I should sponsor those who take free lunch? So, but we still need to help poor people. So we can just turn around. We can report on stories of people who help those poor people. So recently we won a series of stories about Wong Fong. Wong Fong is Lightspeed. Is a residential project to help to get some good homeowner who can rent a house at lower rents to poor family. So we run stories about some housewife, just ordinary people like you and me. They have a second home, so they rent, provide their house to the social enterprise like me, and rent in a very low rent, under market rate, so that poor family can benefit. And the CEO of that social enterprise, he used to be a top management from a real estate company.
No, it's a direct marketing.
Direct marketing, okay. And so you can see the headline. It's very eye-catching. It's not about the poor people. It's about the people who help the poor people. And from my experience, when you help people, the one you help most is yourself.
Exactly. It's my example too. The first passenger is my mom, okay?
Yes. So, by telling story of like Doris, actually you can encourage people who have that potential to do the same. That's why these stories get very good hit rates. We have around 400 articles a day, and that residential series, the first one, ranked number 7, and get over 400,000 views, and have over 1,000 Facebook likes. Okay, if the stories is none of my business, you have to make it entertaining. The Green Monday, they go to North Pole for the marathon. So it's a really very sassy story. I went to the press conference, and at that moment I know, wow, I have to partner with them and did that story. And for strategic partnership, it must be exclusive. So they have TVB for TV, and for newspaper, we are the only media going to North Pole with them. And you need to give lead time for us. This one, they give us 1 month, which is very rushed. Because if you want free lunch, you need to give us enough time so that we can pitch advertisers to sponsor our program. And we need to have 1 month. For TV program or TV news, daily news, it could be just one story, but if we want to pitch advertisers, it must be a campaign, a longer time campaign. So instead of just going to North Pole with them for 2 weeks, we turn the campaign into a 1-month online campaign. For the printed newspaper, we have just 5-day coverage, but cross-platform, we have mobile version, we have web version, and we produce over 100 video stories. And in 1 month's time, we drive hit rate to over 10 million, just for video views. For articles, it's another 10,000. So altogether, we have over 20 million views. And on Facebook, we have 36,000 Facebook likes. Unfortunately, this one is, my presentation is online, but the network here is not so good. So I can give you the link of the presentation. You can go to the Google Drive and view the videos. So we are famous for the animations. So we even created animated icons for the programs, and we turned these animated animals into weather reports. So we keep reminding people about our program. Besides the serious news, we go to North Pole, so we invite users to submit ideas for us to do experiment in the Arctic. So even though for people who are not interested in global warming issues, we have something funny for them to see. And we also produce 2 web games for the program. This is another story. We partner with Green Monday for longer collaboration. This is the most successful one because it goes to the #1 ranking with over 890,000 views and even more likes than the previous one. You can see on the keyframe, this is a revised headline, a more normal one, a green banquet, get all the blessing. But at first, when we launched the video, we have 婚宴打包霸王客，新娘新郎受驚嚇. So we trick the audience to think this is a story about a banquet getting 霸王. What is 霸王?
Some people they lose. Yeah, they don't want to pay, but they want to get more. Okay.
But that's what green banquets is all about, because you collect food for the poor people and they get free lunch. And we make use of that concept and create that headline. And it's a seed to get very viral videos effects, but the comments are not so good. So when you do some trick like this, you make sure your Facebook team to be well prepared. This time we learn if the same happen again, we should have some 把手 to post the first comments. And we trick you here because we have something nice to show you. Then you can mediate the other comments. So in the afternoon, we change the title because we already make our purpose to get the video on top. So for the whole day, the video is still very good. And another rule of thumb, you can trick your audience, but just for once, and make sure your product is really good, so people won't be too angry with your trick. Old news is so exciting. That's the story of two-way. As Sarah said, sometimes when you want to push your message, it's too pushy. For your organization, of course, this is interesting. But for most of the rest of the people, it's really not interesting. So either way is you have to create different perspectives to make your story more interesting. Or even though if that is old news, you can still have chance. Before we have the Arctic story, we run the story series on Cambodia. Cambodia, nothing really new about that. We run we go to, the organization sponsor our reporters to go to Cambodia for just 4 days. And we end up making 9 stories. At first, they are not very happy with us because we are not just telling stories about their organization. We talk about history, we talk about trade, we talk about their food, entertainment, many things other than the services there. But you have to give us space to do that because for ordinary audience, they are not interested in orphanage in Cambodia. But they would be interested in about H&M and other big brands. Most of the factories are in Cambodia, and how's the workers there. And for the first one, it's about history. But by making of animated videos, and also we make our videos just like an MV. So we have a video. This one is about the history of Cambodia, but you can see the views. It's still very good. Because this is a MV history of Cambodia in 3 minutes. You can later go to the link to take a look. And this one is about the factories. So we start the videos with H&M and all the big brand names to tell the story. So you can imagine for Cambodia series, we can have 1.4 million views, 6,000 Facebook likes, and 5 of the videos, they are within the top 10 videos. And 2 ran top 10 on national news. Real time is our 即時新聞, instant news. The Action News channel, 2 ran top 10 is very good because our flagship product is the Action News channel, and you have to compete with entertainment news, with big local news. So even for Cambodian story, we have to get into top 10. And you can see the comments from Facebook and YouTube. So for us, we are building credibility. Social enterprise. Media wants to have strategic partnership with social enterprise because that helps us build our branding too, particularly for digital channel. So when you want to partner with media, check for the digital team because they struggle like you. We are traditional. I joined Equity 5 years ago to start up a video channel. It's really a tough job. They see us as a competitor to overthrow that. So if you can find someone work for the digital platform, they're looking for good stories. They're looking for good exposure, credibility, so that they can establish themselves too. If you have a little bit money to spend, and if your business is relating to overseas trips, sponsor the reporters who go there. They will make a very good report. For me, why I go to Cambodia, I just want to use something very boring to prove. If a Cambodian series can get such good views, how about North Pole? That's why I succeed to pitch my management to go to North Pole. Because at first, we can't have any advertisers, and we have just 1 month to sell the story. And I convinced the business CEO sister company to support my deal. So we talked together to our editor-in-chief and get the green light for the project. At the beginning, Apple Daily have to pay all expenses. And only a few days before we go for the trip, we secure Canon. And Cambodia is a very good case to support the article. A show. So previously, the TVB is famous for making this kind of show, but the reviews are not very good. It's, people will think, oh, it's just a show for the wealthy people to show off their good deeds. Just like the Lightsby stories, some rich people, like this woman, she's a banker, and she quit her job and get into the social enterprise business. And I think you have a lot of stories. Your investors, your volunteers are similar people. So if you want to have some show for your investors, it should be some 真人 show. So when you partner with a media company, they're looking for exclusive news. So if you have very good story, don't target for all media, but you really need to pick one strategic partner and give them really good story. And for Green Monday, right now, sometimes they have meeting with us like half a year before they have the program. And actually, we discuss strategy together. Positive news, mini feature series, just like the Cambodia series. Even though another way to help your stories have better exposure is you can ask some volunteer who are film school students or film directors to produce 3 to 5 minutes mini documentaries of your service, but really need to make it very film-like, very well-textured documentaries. And when you have press conference, you can have your press kit together with the videos. Then you can make use of that easily. Entertainment and sports, science and gadgets. For the Green Monday, because they have some science stories about global warming and about health. So this type of stories are very good for us too. You can build these features later online. Building credibility, I mentioned earlier. So if you can do all this, you can make mission impossible possible. Strange. Possible.
We start late and let time. Okay, I will open up for the Q&A now. And you have to. Any question? Yes. Please keep her the mic.
I have a questions direct to Christina. Just now you say if you have an overseas company, then you invite a reporter to go there and pay for the trip, and then you can say something or write something good for that company. don't you think there's any conflict of interest? Because as long as the reporter, they know something is good, then they write independently, or they proactively ask somebody to give him the background information or the story information, that's fine. But if you, as a company, invite the reporter and pay for all the trip, and then in return the reporter writes something good for the company, is it any conflict of interest?
We now develop a product like as sponsored contents. It's very popular in the US and Europe right now, and we have guidelines for sponsored contents. For sponsored content, it's just like a partnership, so we're not going to run very negative news story for you. It's not from the daily news department, it's from the feature department. Yes, yes. But you have no final say for the articles. We have all the editorial, we make all the editorial decision. But before we enter into that kind of partnership, we will have meeting with the clients to see whether our needs match. Sometimes if you push too much, we will advise you to go for editorial. Editorial, you pay everything. You decide everything. But you are not going to land on our news platform. But for sponsored contents, you can land on our news platform.
But the editorial right is
I think the topic of today is how to pitch for free media. I don't think this is a paid supplement or editorial.
But for sponsored contents, paying for the trip, we regard that as sponsored contents too. That depends on how attractive your story are. For the Cambodian story, because I know one of the patrons of that society, so I know they're really doing something very good. And Cambodia is a very interesting country. They are now upcoming economy of Southeast Asia. So we made the decision to do the series of stories. That's why I said the head of that society is not very happy about our approach, because we talk about history. But at the end of the day, they are very happy because we did drive very good traffic. And 9 of the stories, I think 4 to 5 relate to their service.
Okay, and let me make it more obvious. We are talking free media promotion. We need value for the news. Like what social enterprise working together with the team going to North Pole is called Green Monday. They spend nothing, but who paid? Cannot pay. Green Monday got a lot. You know, they got a good idea because they do crazy men, not a team of crazy men, go to North Pole to do the marathon. They try their matter of life to make this happen. It's news. They got the news, but Green Monday doesn't need to pay.
Not only get the news, I forgot to mention, we just got a silver award from World Newspaper Congress, the Asia Digital Media Awards for cross-media advertising for the North Pole project. So the North Pole project actually becomes our showcase. And after the North Pole project, we have Sony, we have SE Lauder, probably we have Highs and Cummings too. So some of, at least 2 projects are over $1 million media projects, big projects.
Social enterprise have to make use of your good social value to attract people to pay for you, okay? Fairwood pay for me for the meal coupons. Crown Motors pay for me for the many Asian car. I didn't need to pay, I got money and even got the exposure because we got good value. They want to share with us. That's social enterprise. If you are fake social enterprise, want to treat people with your good heart, they will report to you too, but it's negative news, okay? Understand?
Questions for Dora. You just now talk about Diamond Cap, and there are lots of good stories. I don't know whether there's any bad story behind, or other newspaper discover some or report some back news about the Diamond Cap. Then what I want is to know is how do you deal with bad coverage?
Facebook immediate press release by myself. This is the ATV News I can share with you. You can find it in my Facebook page. ATV News sent an intern reporter come to me, report to me, but that intern I think is still in studies in universities. It's not even graduate. It's very, very young girl. She doesn't know too much about the taxi industry in Hong Kong. Usually, Diamond Cap, what's the negative thing is the pricing thing, okay? Oh, it's so expensive, blah, 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 okay? But at the very beginning is still news, okay? People will don't know why diamond cap is expensive. Now it's better, have more knowledge on our operation. At that time it's news, okay, expensive, so it's easy to get, and I got some friend here is sitting in wheelchair. The NGO thing, you say, oh, this is not welfare. You have to charge less, otherwise how can you help people? It's easy, right, to make this kind of statement. So the girl write the story, asked me, oh yeah, because it's tough, it's blah blah, and then asked one of the NGOs in Hong Kong, the head, yes, it's very expensive. I tried from starting to Central, it's 300 something, okay, $300 for a trip. It's crazy, blah blah, okay, it's true. And then they make the headline, not headline, it's called, when the anchor, when the newsreader read that short thing we call lead, okay, the lead of the story. It's talking about diamond, recently we have new new service for wheelchair users. They will charge, in Chinese, 動節，喐下就 300 something. It's easy to have 300 something charging. And so, the industry of welfare ask the government to open the market. Don't let us to be monopolized. Okay, I want to ask how many people know we are monopolizing the taxi industry to have diamond service. How do you, who agree, who agree? Even young people, you don't agree? Why? Why do you understand the taxi industry? You are not taxi operator.
The license of taxi is so expensive, and you need the some facilities to help the wheelchair users to travel around in Hong Kong.
So I'm monopolizing the market, so the price is high? No, wow, you are so great, okay. Lucky that you should go to do the reporting things. Okay, that's true. But I don't know why the editor make a green line for this lead, saying that we are monopolizing the taxi industry, so that our price is so high. It's stupid, right? So that's why when I talk to my friend working in commercial radio, the lady is called Mei Zhen. Come to my show, talk to them. It's crazy. You cannot have this kind of news. It's negative. It's fake. Okay, it's talking something fake. It's not a knowledgeable person in Hong Kong that we are monopolizing because nobody want to do it because it's too expensive. They give up. I pick it up. I'm not monopolizing. I welcome more competition, but no, even now for after 2 years. So this is true. Right? For the negative thing, I will do it. I read the news in 6 p.m. ATV, I write the immediate press release in Facebook and then fax to all news company. That's why all people know they are doing fake news, ATV. Yeah. So it's very important for you to make the truth really immediately release. Keep your dignity for your business. It's not a job. You have to make it serious. Yeah.
Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I would say that probably among the audience there are quite a few people who either started social enterprises or the non-profits. On a practical matter, how do we contact large entities, new agencies like yourself, when we do not have the resources to hire a full-time media person? How do you propose, practically, I know 2 extra people that can call now, but beyond that, and especially you don't want people to be calling you all the time, how do you propose that we begin building that relationship with media?
Hire agency. Just kidding. But I think actually you can just assign people who is responsible for that, but that person should be outgoing. For example, when I first joined the PR agency, I didn't approach the media before, even though my company gave me a list, but media leave and go really quickly. So you just actually need to make a cold call to them.
Another cheaper way is go to universities. They have journalism school and they run projects. Just get them engaged to run a media project with you, to pitch ideas, and then they will do all the research to contact us.
Yeah. Give us some context.
Sure. I actually teaching PR in a hybrid program. We work with another social enterprise called Shackloose. The student, because they're full-time students, they got a lot of time, that how to do the research. For example, when I'm targeting features media, what is the angle, what do they talk about? It's more about research. After you're doing the research, for example, particularly for print media, you can easily find their name or the contact in the contact pages. Just email them or make a cold call to the hotline. May I find Christina?
You just look for the digital team.
No, just
Connect to the digital team. For printed, I'm kind of biased, but very inertia.
And also,
They just wait for free lunch also. As Doris said, many of them are very lazy. They didn't do any research.
and also be more proactive. Remember this word proactive, okay? Whenever you go to some occasion, meet people, okay? Ask them, can I know more about the media relation, how can I do it, okay? Be proactive. This is the tools that you have to.
I think also not really hard selling the media, but you really have a good, when you believe you really got a good story, just trying to share with them and communicate with them to find out is it really a good story. Usually the conversation for the first 20 seconds is about the philosophy or the key messages. For example, being is about we got a perspective of original people who is a landlady, but he's willing to give the house to rent for the underprivileged people because they didn't want such kind of features before. When they think that is a good angle to further communicate the details like the background of the landlady or some key figures of the housing issue or property. So it's a process actually. So I think you need to find people to do the research, understand and talk to them to identify the opportunities.
And make use of Facebook too. You can create very good posts and then get it viral. And why I always encourage people to use the online media for printed. You know, printing is very expensive. They need to be very selective to choose story, but for online, the space is unlimited. So you have better chance to get the story online.
Actually, I have my own TV channel. It's my Facebook page. I always get photo, getting news, very updated thing. People will keep chasing your news. It's very good, free, it's free channel.
And beside traditional media, I think there are some digital-only media like House News. They are doing a lot of good news.
主場新聞 ，OK， House News。OK Annie， 普通話
I'm
你
fine.
好
Hi.
OK。
Sorry, I know we're running out of time, but I'll be really quick. I come from a non-profit background. Unfortunately, what we do falling into the last sector where a lot of things we do are of low media and consumer value or interest. And we do lots of award ceremonies. That's one of the ways we attract media attention. It's less of a question, but it's more about advocacy, which is very similar to what this gentleman said, where we don't have money to invest in an agency or a specialized team to work with a PR or media. In the ideal world, I was hoping to have like a list of socially conscious reporters or media practitioners that would actually pay attention to what we do and discover the value of the things that we do in the nonprofit sector. Of course, I feel like many of the things does have value, socially impact, but it's just that many of the times that the readers, audience, they want something, more of a kind of a gimmicky or gossip, whatever. I do think that there has to be a better ecosystem in terms of what media practitioners are focusing or really help to discover value inside. The second question is more related to what Doris just mentioned about that. I had some experiences working with media practitioners or journalists. Unfortunately, some of the experiences wasn't so positive. You mentioned about how you deal with crisis afterwards, but my question was more focused on how you work with the journalists to really write the way you want to write. I don't know if that's the way to say it, but I feel like many of the times when, especially with the local journalists, when they write things, they want to sort of from an angle where it's very eye-catchy, very exciting, very fun, so they could get better coverage afterwards. But that's not exactly the way that we want it. I work on a global scholarship, for example, which gives a lot of scholarship, like money, to the students for them to go to the Middle East, which is very interesting. And as an educator, we want our media coverage to be more focused on the opportunity to support young and poor, less well-off kids to go to the international place to study abroad. However, many of the journalists we work with, they tend to focus on the big, a bunch of money, like $1,000 kind of $1 million of scholarship. And that's not the way that we want, how the audience view that. And do you have any advice on how we, can better approach that and how we can sort of guide the journalists through this process? I mean, this is.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
First of all, I want to say that when you want media to cover your good values, you're not just competing the space with the other bad things. You are competing with all good things together. You have a good NGO, she got too. You got a social enterprise too, they are also a good social enterprise. So you have to understand that something you think is very meaningful, you have to report. But sorry, the market said it's not that level. Okay, it's very, very competitive, as I said at the very beginning. Okay, if you think it's very meaningful, doesn't mean that others think it's also meaningful. Okay, you have to have that click. What is news? What is most people be interested on it? So that's why you have to fine tune what the message you have, what the mission you have, what special you have. At least internally, or grab some, you don't have money, grab some volunteer, like with the media experience. Grab them in to have internal discussion first. Is it good? Is it media interesting? So with the internal discussion, you will have a better sense that whether the outside world is really interested in your initiative. Understand what I mean?
Your ideas is very good. That inspire me to think of. I always think very ambitiously. Actually, we can create an award, a journalist award for good reporting on social enterprise or social goods. Because for social enterprise, it's too narrow. Social goods. Then, if we have that kind of awards, you can have a network of good reporters, And right on that kind of awards, you can organize workshops. Because for the US and Europe, they have very good reporting on social enterprise. They have training. So I think we need to introduce best practices to Hong Kong.
That's good. Okay, question.
And we are interested in that too, because next year we will be the media partner of the World Newspaper Congress in Hong Kong. They will have a conference in Hong Kong. We are organizing an advertising section with them, and I think this could be another one because newspaper all over the world, they want to increase readership for the young generations. And good deeds social enterprise attract young readership.
And also, you want to tune the angle, the reporter write to you, right? You want something they want to write for you, okay? You want to be the reporter. You want to write to yourself, right? I think, as also my sharing, okay? I seldom reject the reporters, except ATV, because of my driver, actually. Because my driver said, oh, they're negative, don't do that. If they want to interview the driver, they refuse. I cannot force my driver to be interviewed. But still okay, ATV is still okay. I'm very open. Even if I'm talking something not correct, I will correct immediately. But even something not exactly what I want, I still open for the interview. Because exposure is exposure. I will welcome. Okay, I got another friend. Okay.
Besides, even though if we haven't yet organized awards, for you can always create a platform of good stories, sharing with other social enterprise who write good story and the links to their story, and people can spread around the news.
You set up a Facebook page, easy.
But I think you can firstly outreach the social affairs reporter first, because usually they most likely they will report social enterprise users.
Okay, so everyone like to use the Facebook. What about Twitter in Hong Kong or Taiwan? What's your experience?
I think around 10%, below 10%, 5% the market rate. Over 90% of Facebook. And Weibo, microblog is very popular here.
They just got one.
Microblog is just Chinese version of Twitter.
Twitter only got like 20,000 active users in Hong Kong. Well, Facebook they got 4 to 5 million users. So that's why it's a huge number.
Just to follow his question, a similar one would be, is there any overseas audience strategies that you're targeting for non-Chinese speakers, or in simplified Chinese, or like English speakers, especially context
Sorry, I don't. Can you
Is
speak
there any
again?
strategies for overseas audience who are non-Chinese speakers, who can't read Chinese, like in English or Japanese or
You mean if your social enterprise want to target overseas? Okay. In Hong Kong, I should say because social enterprise is relatively small, it's just a mini SME. So usually the initial target is local Hong Kong people. So that's why the strategy is more likely focusing Hong Kong media. But I think for Diamond Can of the cases, because it can replicate the model to other regions. So when he actually applied different awards, it catch international media attention.
Hey, actually, my website until today, we have over 800 visits each week. And out of all the visits, about 10% coming from overseas. So that's why we have tourists to book our cab through email. So we are taxi, we welcome tourists. So it's okay. Make a better web page. You know, it's a also very good sales tools for you.
And just a supplement, for example, SES Social Business Center, they also try to convert social enterprise as a travel gift in Hong Kong. So they partner with Cambodia Hotel and the tourism board, and then they can just buy SE Pod as a Hong Kong souvenir. And they just started, but I think they most likely they will outreach the expat people or some mainland Chinese tourists, which is more value.
Okay, sorry, it's time's up. Just have less than 1 hour to have the lunch. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy to working for social enterprise and keep the media hot. Okay, thank you.